leader of the organization, the Ten Rings, possessor of the Ten Rings of mystical power themselves, gifts from outer space that give him prolonged life, dexterity, strength, and terrifyingly, like, sort of specific projectile powers. Wenwu is the antagonist and complicated father figure character from Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Not only is he that, he's also the action figure we're looking at today, and the final figure in the Mr. Hyde Build-A-Figure wave. I am so happy to finally have this guy. Once again, this was a gift off my gorgeous wife for my birthday. Because we both loved the movie. It's a way to complete the set, and it means that I could finally build the character that she mistakenly named the Leprechaun. Because he looks like a leprechaun. But it's Mr. Hyde. However, we've got Wenwu, played by Tony Leung in the movie. It says here, Shang-Chi's father Wenwu is the feared leader of the Ten Rings organization, which has lurked in the shadows of the MCU since the very beginning. I think that's the first time I've seen the word MCU, the abbreviation MCU, on the packaging. That's very strange. Illustration there that is not the greatest likeness of Tony Leung. So the Shang-Chi logo at the top there. But then you take a look at the figure. Oh my god, that likeness is insane. I cannot wait to crack this guy open and put him up on the shelf alongside Katie, Xialing, Shang-Chi, and the Death Dealer. Oh, here we go. It's time to take a look at Wenwu, aka the real Mandarin. Wenwu's doing his best end of an episode of Malcolm and Wise. Well, he's not, but he is showing off his articulation. Wenwu's articulation is thus: pivot in the ankle and a bit of give either way, but not very much. No swivel in the calf. That they could have hidden it in the boot, but nope. He has a double joint at the knee, which is very stiff. Please be careful. Part of that is down to the fact they're using the new pegless technology for the legs. He has a swivel at the top of the thigh, and his crotch has the usual joints for a Marvel Legend, but are hampered very heavily by the costume, which is a shame because, well, you kind of want him doing martial arts pieces, don't you? You kind of want him doing kicks and leaps on your displays, but whatever. No swivel at the waist, but there is a decent crunch and slight rotation at the ribs. So it gives you a nice variety of movement. The arms go around and up and down, in and out. On this side too, but it's hampered somewhat by the costume, so do be careful. I'm sure if that snaps off, it'll be an easy repair with some glue, but I'd rather not do that. Double joint at the elbow. I guess it was an older sculpt, or they couldn't work out how to do it pegless, so we've got pegs for these arms, unlike the legs. The hands on the figure when you first get it are the balled fists, and they have a pivot in and out and swirl round. They'll be replaced by the spare hands, which we'll get to in a moment's time. Get back over there, you. There's a little swivel at the top there too. Neck, there doesn't appear to be an articulation at the base, which is all well and good because it means that his neck can stay forward, and the head is on one of those pegs with a ball joint at the top and bottom, allowing for a decent range of natural movement. Like in the film, he sort of addresses people at the table and stuff by, he sort of tilts his head quite a bit sort of to the side. He doesn't really turn his head, he kind of tilts his head. So it gives you a decent range of movement that allows you to replicate Tony Leung's physicality in the film itself. Let's take a quick look at the detail on this figure. So, black boots with a really nice sculpt for the laces and the trim at the top. The silver lining at the back. The pants are pretty much consistent black throughout. We get to the wrap at the bottom of his costume. The pattern paint on this is fantastic. I know it hampers his physicality, but if you're just displaying him stood up, what a piece. That looks so cool. The belt is sculpted onto the same part, and as you can see there are patterns on the grey part of the belt leading to the buckle at the front, which features the logo of the Ten Rings. I'm trying to remember if this is used on the Trevor Slattery Mandarin figure. I don't think it is. So if so, that's a debut for this piece. The stomach is the sort of the scaled design. Scale's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. As is the torso. Blacks with hues of blue here and there, like on the collar and the shoulder. Definite modern body armour design that replicates the film's one rather nicely. As for the arms, they are of course flesh tone, and you have the infamous 10 rings in the sculpt, so I doubt we're going to be seeing this sculpt on any other figure, unless maybe they put it on like a re-release of Shang-Chi at some point based on how he looks at the very end of the movie, with the 10 rings on his arm. Proper veiny and, like constricted forearms there. You can see the folds of the skin. The face is the highlight of this figure. That is nuts. Like that's Tony Leung. They have nailed the likeness. It's supernatural how well the sculpt has come out for this. Right down to his hair, the parting, the crown at the back, the way it falls, the skin tone, something which they didn't quite get right with Xialing and Katie. It felt like the plastic was kind of washing it out a little bit. Whereas with Shang-Chi and now Wenwu, they've absolutely nailed it. Look at the eyes. Look at the paint on the eyes, the brow. Like, oh, I can't sing the praises of the likeness of this figure enough. It's astoundingly good. Wenwu comes with a couple of accessories of his own. Namely, he comes with 2 spare pairs of hands, one of which are these gripping hands that you can use to grip accessories, or if you want to give him more of a open palmed, kind of not quite fist, like he's about to ball his fist up sort of hand. These will be handy, haha, pun intended, when holding onto his weapon accessory, which is the sort of curved sword weapon from one of the Ten Rings minions. I don't remember if Wenwu himself ever uses one of these in the movie, but a lot of his henchmen, a lot of his soldiers at the end, when they get to Tao Lo, use these. So it's just cool to have it. It's like even if he doesn't use it, you've got the option, and I think that's pretty cool. Again, nice detailing on that, really simple. Handle there's in black, really nice. He also comes with one of the pair of hands, which are these sort of martial art stance clawed hands with 2 fingers. 2 prominent fingers, 2 bent over in the palm. This is nice because, like, in the film there's a whole thing about his fight style being quite angular and jagged, whereas his late wife, Shang-Chi's mother, is a lot more fluid and open-palmed, which is nice because the Shang figure comes with open-palmed variant hands, so nice touch. Lastly, Wenwu comes with the right arm of Mr. Hyde, his big old hairy hand. It's huge, again, size comparison, massive. And Mr. Hyde's cane, which would be held by that hand. Again, very tall cane. So we now have, it's just out of shot, a pile of body parts to build Mr. Hyde in the next video. Should we take a little look at Wenwu in action? I think we should. Here he is, the real Mandarin, Wenwu, the villain of Shang-Chi, played by Tony Leung in the MCU movie Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, and he looks so good. I'm probably not going to display him like this. I'll probably have him stood static with his balled fists because, you know, the 10 rings, mother trucker. Like, he's holding on to the 10 rings. But the fact that I have the option to have him with a weapon and more fighting stances is incredible. I am so impressed with this figure. The cons, the hampered articulation of the legs due to the sculpt of the costume and the material used. Pros, absolutely everything else. He looks amazing. Next time, I will be reviewing the complete Build-A-Figure for Mr. Hyde. and because I've got the whole wave, ooh, hello, bye Mr. Hyde, we will do a little review of the whole wave, and I'll decide which figure to me was the best, which was the worst, and all else in between. So tune in next time to find out where Wenwu fares in the range overall. Let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments below. Also, if you want to support the channel, especially the toy reviews, you can go to the description where there's a link to my Amazon wishlist or PayPal donation pages for a shout out. Buy me some and I'll review it. Of course, you're under no obligation. You don't have to pay a damn dime my way. But if you enjoy these figure reviews, you can help me out by liking the videos, commenting down below, and subscribing to make sure you catch the next review. Bye, Wenwu. He's waving just really slowly.